Has it ever occurred to you that your sense of right and wrong might have come from ancient Babylonian priests who lived at least 3,000 years ago? Why is it that it seems like every superhero movie, every good versus evil story, all seems to follow the same pattern and the same themes? All aboard ARNIE'S brain train, today we're going to dive into how one epic story became the hidden foundation for almost every ancient belief system on Earth. All of my sources are in the description below, so go check it out for yourself and you can decide. Let's start by diving headfirst into the ruins of ancient Nineveh. Archaeologists discovered clay tablets that would change everything we know about human thought. Written around 1100 BCE, the Enuma Elish story tells of Marduk, a heroic god who defeats Tiamat, the primordial monster of chaos, to create our ordered universe. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just one culture's creation story. This was the template that spread across the ancient world like wildfire, becoming the backbone of civilization itself. The Enuma Elish didn't stay in Babylon for long. It quickly went viral in the ancient world. Through trade routes, conquests, and cultural exchange, this story spread like wildfire. The Hebrews encountered it during the Babylonian exile and incorporated its themes into Genesis. The Greeks absorbed it through Persian and Phoenician contacts, transferring it into their own myths. According to Dr. Stephanie Dalley, expert on ancient Mesopotamian literature, and Dr. Mark Smith from Princeton, the Enuma Elish's influence can be traced through dozens of ancient cultures across 3 continents. Let's start with the most obvious example, Genesis. Both stories begin with watery chaos. In Babylon, it's Tiamat. In Genesis, it's the deep. Both feature divine forces bringing order through separation, light from dark, heaven from earth. Both end with structured creation and divine rest. The parallels are so striking that biblical scholars like Dr. Richard Clifford have documented over 20 direct connections between the Enuma Elish and the opening chapters of Genesis. We're not talking inspiration here, this is actual cultural DNA being passed down through generations. But it doesn't stop there. The Greeks took this Babylonian blueprint and ran with it. Hesiod's Theogony, the story of how the Greek gods came to power, follows the exact same pattern: primordial chaos, divine conflict, and the establishment of cosmic order under Zeus. Plato's famous allegory of the cave? It's about bringing order to chaos, light to darkness. Classic Enuma Elish themes. Even Aristotle's concepts of form bringing order to matter echo this ancient Babylonian worldview. The Greeks didn't just borrow the story, they built their entire philosophical foundation on it. Meanwhile, the Persians were creating Zoroastrianism, which features Ahura Mazda, the force of good and order, battling Ahriman, chaos and evil. Sound familiar? This wasn't a coincidence. Persia had conquered Babylon and then absorbed its cultural treasures, including the Enuma Elish. Zoroastrianism then influenced Judaism during the Persian period, creating the concept of Satan as a force of chaos opposing divine order. The Persian connection shows how one Babylonian story became the foundation for the entire concept of cosmic dualism that dominates Western and Middle Eastern thought. Even ancient Egypt, with its own rich mythology, shows Enuma Elish influences. The story of Ra emerging from the primordial waters of Nun to create order mirrors the Babylonian template. During periods of cultural exchange, especially under Persian rule, Egyptian creation myths began incorporating themes of cosmic battle and the triumph of order over chaos. The god Set, originally a more complex figure, became increasingly portrayed as a force of pure chaos, a clear Babylonian influence. And then there's Rome. Rome didn't just conquer territories, it conquered ideas. Virgil's Aeneid follows the Enuma Elish pattern. Aeneas must defeat chaotic forces to establish the ordered Roman state. Roman Stoicism, with its emphasis on reason triumphing over passion, reflects the same order versus chaos dynamic. Even Roman political propaganda used this framework, portraying barbarians as forces of chaos that Roman civilization must defeat to bring order to the world. Here's where it gets really interesting. Even distant cultures show this influence. Norse mythology's Ragnarok describes cosmic battle between order and chaos, ending in the creation of a new ordered world. How did Babylonian ideas reach Scandinavia? Through the vast trade networks of the ancient world. Archaeological evidence shows Babylonian artifacts in Nordic territories, proving cultural exchange that carried these fundamental stories to the far reaches of Europe. By now you're probably noticing that this is everywhere, and you're absolutely right. The Enuma Elish didn't just influence individual stories, it created the basic mental framework for how human beings think about existence itself. Order good, chaos bad. Heroes defeat monsters. Civilizations triumph over wilderness. Justice conquers injustice. These aren't natural human instincts, they're learned patterns that trace back to ancient Babylon and beyond. Fast forward to today, and this programming is still running the show. Every Marvel movie follows the Enuma Elish template. Heroes bringing order to chaos. Star Wars? Luke defeating the chaotic empire to restore order to the galaxy. Even your political beliefs likely follow this pattern, viewing your side as bringing order and the opposition as chaotic forces to be defeated. The Enuma Elish isn't just ancient history, it's the operating system running in your brain right now. Whether they like to admit it, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism all carry Enuma Elish DNA. The concept of a final battle between good and evil, the idea of divine judgment bringing cosmic order, the notion that creation itself is a victory over chaos, all of these core religious concepts trace back to that Babylonian clay tablet. According to Dr. John Day from Oxford, the influence is so pervasive that it's impossible to understand Western religion without acknowledging its Babylonian roots. Western philosophy, from Plato to modern times, is built on Enuma Elish foundations. The idea that reason should triumph over emotion, that civilization is superior to nature, that progress means bringing order to chaos. Even scientific thinking follows this pattern. We talk about conquering disease, taming nature, and bringing order to natural chaos through understanding. What's really mind-blowing is how this single story became the foundation for the entire concept of civilization itself. From the Roman Empire to the British Empire to modern democracy, the justification has always been the same. We're bringing order to chaos, civilization to barbarism, light to darkness. The Enuma Elish created the mental framework that still drives global politics, economics, and social structures. Thank you guys so much for joining me on ARNIE'S Brain Train for this epic journey through the most influential story in human history. If this absolutely blew your mind, smash that like button and subscribe for more adventures through history's biggest mysteries. Check the description for all of my sources and tell me, now that you know about this ancient programming, can you see the Enuma Elish patterns in your own thinking? And what other ancient ideas might be secretly controlling our modern world? All aboard for next week's mind-bending adventures, and remember, the world isn't always this simple, but it's always this interesting. We'll see you guys there. Bye.